Hello there, this is Cheryl Lentz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thank you for waiting an extra hour so I could get my act together. I appreciate that. We have stampers here today and we're just having fun, and I, lost track of time. So anyhow, I have a card today that I was thinking about when I did the apple card. I think last week I did that, or the week before. Anyhow, when I did the apple harvest card, there was another card that I wanted to do, and it was in my head and I was kind of figuring out how to do it. So that's the card I'm going to do today. So it's not really even follow-up. It's kind of follow-up. So I am going to turn the camera around. We'll get started and let's see how we do. So here we go. Close your eyes if this bothers you. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining me now, you're joining me on a replay. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. We're moving locations. Okay, here we go. So thank you. We're up to, I think, 991 on our YouTube channel. So if y'all will, I can get a couple more people to say, yes, I want to subscribe. We can do that. So this is the stamp set. Let me grab this out. This is a stamp set. And then they have dies. Here's the dies. So you can, ta-da. So cool. And now the thing that's so neat, so it will cut out this little flower. There's two to cut out that flower, okay? You can cut out, and I have one thing missing, but look at all these leaves. So if you were going to do a fall card, do those, like I would cut those out in all different colors and just have them kind of coming down the card. I think it would look so beautiful. So, and then they have two big flowers. They have the center for the flowers, two little flowers, the centers for the flowers, a nice thing for your verse, a nice little die for the verse. But there are 6 of the little leaves and 3 of the big leaves. That's totally cool. I love that. So, I am going to, I don't have the card that I did before, but my idea was I wanted to make apples in all different colors, this apple in all different colors, and I wanted it in a bowl. But I wanted like a wood grain, and we don't have a current wood grain, so I did something else. So I'll show you what I did with it. Let me show you what I did. I don't even know where to go with all my stuff. So here is the card, and I used for the background this cool paper. It's called brushstroke paper. It's in the annual catalog. It comes in 3 different colors, but I wanted it to sort of, see that brushstroke? That is so very cool. So I wanted it to look sort of like a still painting, you know, kind of like that. So here we go. There we go. See? Ta-da, ta-da is my, that's my card for today. Now this shape, which looks like a canoe after I did it, but it started out with a rectangle and I wanted a bowl. I mean, first I was thinking a circle. We don't have a circle that big. So I started out with this. Then you take these dies, the basic border dies, to make the edge of the bowl. Let me get that pushed back in here. So I took this one to make the edge of the bowl, and that went on just like that. So that gave me this little scoop here. Then I had to figure out what to do with the corners. So what I did is I took a 2.5 inch punch, retired punch, and I put it in like this. Let's see here. Just like that. And I kind of squished it up until both the edges of the paper were against the die, or against the punch base here. And then I just punched it. That's how I got these two. But if you don't have the punch, you can also take a die, a circle die, and do this. And you put it in just like that. You don't want to, so it is only cutting this edge off. So I would only run through, we can do it. We can do it. I'll bring the Mighty Mini out here. Let's see here. Show you how to do this here. I'm going to put, this one is a little flatter here. So I have plate number 1, plate number 2 is the acrylic plate. Here's my thing that I want to make a bowl out of, my paper. And this DSP is from, I'll tell you where it's from. So I pulled things from all different areas. Is the Happy Forest Friends. You know, this one with the bear and the trees and the cute little paper. I just wanted something soft that would kind of look like the yellow apple. And so I'm going to put this in like that. And I'm just going to, will it run through here? I'm just going to run it through. Oh, this one is so bent here. Just one moment. Let me get it together here a little bit more like that. I'm just going to run it through till I know that that part is cut off. There we go. And the reason I'm only going a little ways is because I don't want the paper to get bent. So there we go. Now I have a corner. Okay, let's do the other corner. So same thing. The paper goes on top, and then where you want your circle or you want your curved edge. So if you want a bigger curved edge or a smaller curved edge, this is how you do it. This is an option, right? Or you have the punch. There we go. I mean, we do have a punch to do edges, but I needed a bigger curve. Ta-da! So there we go. I did it with my circle dies. Okay, now the top, I wanted a curve on it. So I love these border dies. They're really cool. Where'd I put my little, here it is. Sorry. I'm all over the place here today. So this one, I just put edge to edge to the point here on the, I don't know, can you see that? We'll see. I just kind of pulled that up so it was sort of even. Edge to edge. And not only does it cut that nice little curve, but it has a little stitching on it too. So here we go. And I know it looks like a canoe. I think it's the color. So maybe if this was in wood, it would look better, because that's what I was thinking about, a wooden bowl with apples. You know, I thought that was cool. But instead I have a canoe that I have to make into a bowl for apples. So what I did also, let's put this back on here. Ta-da. Here's my little piece. I guess you could use that on another card, like on a layer, to have it just go through. It's kind of it's a nice piece, a usable piece. Okay, so there's my boat. There's my canoe that's going to be a bowl. And then I decided to spice up the edges a little bit. And so I took So Saffron and my dauber, and I just put a hard color on the edges to make it look, I thought it looked better than just plain. Gives it some shadowing, I guess. So here we go. And the biggest part was, I love that background. That paper is so cool. The brush stroke paper, really fun. So there's my bowl. So I used a bunch of different dyes. So my apples, on this one I did stamp them in white. I thought I would try it in very vanilla instead. My apples are stamped in Memento. So I have 4 apples out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 apples for the front. And then I also stamped an apple on the inside here. It's a thank you card. So I left room. I just stamped the apple part way, left room here so you could write a note. And there we go. And then for the verse, this is going to go inside. Here we go. I'm just going to set that there for a minute. For the verse, I have this one. So thanks for your kindness. It comes in that apple set. And then I took another die from another set. I'm stamping that in Night of Navy because that's the color of the background paper, and I thought I would stick with that. So here's my thanks for your kindness. And that's the only stamping on it. And then I used, here, I could have used that paper, I guess. I used this die here. And that is from the Scary Silhouettes dies. So that fit perfectly around my verse. But then I wanted to make it stand out because the vanilla on top of my little canoe bowl, I needed a little bit more definition. So I took a piece of Night of Navy and I used this piece, which is from the Cracker and Treat Box dies. Cracker and Treat Box dies is what they call it. Yep. So anyhow, I just thought this one was kind of fun. So I'm going to cut those two out. Then I'm all done with my cutting out. There we go. So here's this one right here. This die looks so, it's tiny, but it fits perfectly for this one. And I think I can do both of these at once. If I can keep this one straight, maybe kind of, sort of. So y'all, we were okay with the storms. I think one town a little bit away had some trees down and that kind of thing. But I think all in all, it was, everyone was well. And in a couple of hours, the sun was shining and it was absolutely beautiful out. So it was kind of funny that here it was dark and stormy and crazy out, and then all of a sudden we had a beautiful sunny day to enjoy the rest of the day. Okay, so here's this one, and this one also has little stitching, so that kind of matches the top of the bowl. Let's get this out of the way here. Just going to put those over there, and hopefully I don't lose them. There we go. Okay. So this is going to just go right on top of this piece. I did do a little bit of embossing along here. And this particular die leaves like an outline. So there's like a ledge, right? It looks like it's kind of cut out. So this looks like another layer, sort of. Gives it that impression. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right in the center. Maybe if my adhesive comes out for me, put that over there. I'm throwing things all over. Sorry, it's messy desk day because I have a bunch of colors out here for my apples. So I just put a little bit of adhesive in the center, line this up, and then just plop this down. My green glue gives me enough wiggle time to make sure it's straight. And there's my little thanks. So these pieces will be put away for later after my apples get done. I feel like I'm cooking them. So I had all these apples. The leaves I did, all of these I did in combo colors. So the leaves are Mossy Meadow. The first apple is Real Red. So I used, let me make sure I have the right colors here. So I used dark Real Red and the light, so the combo, Real Red. What I did is I took the lighter color first, and I have to move everything around, and just colored around my edges here. There we go. I'm trying to go a little bit faster so I don't put anybody to sleep here. So I went with my light red. There we go. And then just filled in. Because I'm going to go over this again, so you might be thinking, what is she doing? I'm going over it again. So there's this time. Okay, I'm leaving a little bit out there. And then I'm taking my dark Real Red and going around where they already have it shaded for us. So I'm just kind of filling in a little bit around that area. Okay. And then I also went around the leaf a little bit, thinking, oh, if it's standing out. You might have a little bit of a shade from that. And then I go back over with my light. And I'm just coloring in and softening those edges. I am going to leave one spot that's lighter. That's what this one is here, where you see the clear here. I just left one spot that's a little bit lighter. And if you want to lighten it up a little to look like a light is shining on it, you can take your blender pen, which mine was out here, and I must have eaten it. I don't know where I put it. Right here. And you can soften this up a little bit. Just a little with your the color lifter. And then let it go, because it'll, when it dries and comes out, you'll see it a little bit more. So there you go. Second apple, I did a deep, dark, rich apple. So I used the cherry cobbler. Did the same thing. So I just went around with the light cherry cobbler. There we go. I went out of the edges a little bit, but forgive me. I'm trying to go fast here, so here we go. There we go. The light cherry cobbler. Like that. And then I'm going to go with the dark. Again, I'm just following the lines that, you know, they put on the apple for us, except that I'm adding a little more dark around the leaf. Then I go back with my light and just do a little circle to soften that line. So I'm just going in a little circle to soften that up, and it will look a little bit lighter. That spot I left lighter. When it dries, you'll see the shine on there. And my next one was the Granny Apple Green. So did the same thing. I always start out with the light, not always. I shouldn't say always, but in this case, that's what I'm doing. Starting out with the light Granny Apple Green. Oh, here we go. A nice tart apple. So this one I left a little spot, but then I went over it with the dark, with my shading. Ta-da, just like that. Then I added a little bit of Daffodil Delight, the dark Daffodil Delight. That's what I'm adding in here. Just sometimes your green apples will have a little yellow hue to it. So that's what I was adding. Family never remembers I'm online. And then here's the light Granny Apple again.